What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scummy Rebel here, and with all this Black Ops 4, I wanted to take a minute and look at the 10 specialists we have. Whether they're new, returning, their equipment and weaponry, and most importantly, I'll be ranking them from worst to best. In fact, hit the comment box up with your favorite specialist so far. And just so y'all know, I'm decent at the game. I go off on occasion, but I'm no pub stomper. So I'm ranking these based on a relatively similar skill level, as well as how much I personally use them. Also, gotta rank them from worst to best, cause I always see best to worst, and where's the hype? Where's the buildup? Anyways, without further ado, let's start with number 10. Ruin. Did I already upset some people? Well, I'm sorry, but he's the specialist that I use the least, and I find him kind of underwhelming. So Ruin is a returning specialist from Black Ops 3. His equipment is the grapple gun. Use it to go zooming around like Spider-Man, or like temporary advanced movement sort of. It's slightly similar to his speed boost ability from BO3, but does work almost completely differently. Same base idea though, the speed. And then there's his Grav Slam, which is exactly the same as before, except in appearance. Combining them is fun and makes for sweet kill cams, but the practicality of it is just overshadowed by every other specialist. Number 9, Battery. Boy am I on a roll rustling jimmies today. Sorry, but she's ranking so low because while in theory, both her equipment and weapon are powerful, but the amount of times I end up actually getting kills is relatively low. So Battery is a returning specialist. Her equipment this time around is the Cluster Grenade, a grenade that explodes and releases even more grenades. Seems cool, but the blast radius isn't that big. And even when you know there's 3 enemies in a room, no one even takes damage from them. Now this is replacing her kinetic armor, but the basis of her kinetic armor didn't disappear, but we'll get into that a little later. Battery's weaponry is exactly the same as before, being the grenade launching war machine. And while it seems exactly the same, I just get a lot less kills with it. Number 8, Prophet. Now I know he's kind of low, but unlike the first two, Prophet is actually pretty decent. But both his equipment and weaponry both have noticeable drawbacks, which in comparison put him here on the list. So Prophet is a returning specialist as well. His equipment would be the Seeker Shock Mine. Now this thing is good, or it can be. You have to be sure to follow it. If there's an enemy nearby and you're right behind it, the enemy will shoot that thing first or get hit by it and give you a second or two to take the shot. The downside would be once it gets away from you, the enemy could not hit square, or whatever, I'm on PS4, and still get out because you weren't anywhere close. This replaced the glitch, which let you go back in time, and that didn't appear anyway in this game. His weaponry is the same, being the Tempest. Now in this game, it's a 1 shot to down them, and a 2nd shot to kill them. It does incapacitate them so they can't shoot you, so you can down one, down another, then finish them both off. But not being able to 1-shot kill is the drawback I spoke of. Next is number 7, Seraph. Pretty low, I know, but I see Seraph as a similar specialist to Prophet, so it'd be weird if they weren't close together. Now Seraph is returning as well. Her equipment would be the TAC insert, allowing you and your team to essentially place a spawn beacon wherever you are on the map. Now the TAC deploy beacon, whatever it's called, can be used extremely well, but more often than not, a teammate places it in our own spawn or somewhere counterproductive. It should be placed in a corridor or a flank route that isn't getting a lot of traffic, and will get mad flanks going from your team. But its misuse gets her here. Her equipment is new and replaces her old combat focus, which is similar to the ComSec device, but only slightly. Her weaponry is the Annihilator, which is pretty much the same as it was before, 1-shot revolver. At number 6 we have Crash. Now Crash is a new specialist to Black Ops 4. I like using him when I'm going for bloodthirsty camos, cause I like using non-lethal specialists so I don't lose track of my kills. Now Crash's equipment is the ammo pack. It drops ammo on the ground for your team. You get points when they pick it up and points for the kills you and your teammates get. This is useful if you want to go on streaks and can use this equipment as a solid replacement for Scavenger. It gives you basically max ammo. His weaponry, or whatever, it isn't a weapon I know, his L1R1 is the TAC-5, the Treyarch system or whatever they call it. Real clever, guys. This heals all lost health, even from burns, and increases yours and your teammates' health by 50 up to 200. Great for streaks if you're trying to stay alive, have a fire break on the other team, or just want the points. It is somewhat similar to Battery's kinetic armor, but not as strong, and for the whole team. Seriously though, equip a ComSec device to a class and use Crash and watch the streaks just rack up, provided you stay alive, of course. Alright, we're already halfway there. Number 5, Torque. Now Torque is another new specialist, and not only is he new, but his equipment and weaponry are brand new as well. His equipment is the Razor Wire. Toss this bad boy in any thin corridor and completely shut it down, unless they have a launcher or a specialist weapon that will get rid of it. It lets you know when you've snagged an enemy, so if you use it to shut off the room you're camping in, it'll let you know when someone's trying to get through. And then you just go, boom, get them. Now this can be used to clearly shut a lane down, or if you place it right after a sharp turn, like the stairs up to the room in Seaside, the enemies will turn the corner so fast they won't even see it. I've also gotten a kill or two because I guess they decided to try a turnaround halfway through the wire. Anyways, his weaponry is the Barricade, a big stationary shield with high sides and a medium height center. It also emits radiation. Now this can be used as a powered up razor wire. Just place it in front of any doorway and make it inaccessible, and if someone comes in too fast, they'll slow down and take a little damage. This can also be used anywhere you need quick cover, like in the middle of nowhere, or a nice head glitch spot. Find a corner near B, and if your team has it, hold down B all by yourself. He's handy, but it does take a somewhat wise player to know the best spots to place these. Number 4, Firebreak. A returning specialist here with a little being changed from his Black Ops 3 incarnation. His equipment is the Reactor Core, which emits a burning radioactive energy, I think? It's unclear. Plop this thing down and burn up your foes, even those on the other side of a wall. That's a reason I really like him. The reactor core goes through walls, and it's burning damage so they can't re-heal. It's very similar to his heat wave ability in Black Ops 3, but animated extremely differently. It comes from a nuclear core, not just his body. Then there's the Purifier, the same as last time. Well, it may be more powerful. This thing tends to melt people almost instantly. I've put 3 shots in a dude, and right before the 4th, he turns and I get touched by the flames. Boom, dead. It's pretty powerful, but I've gotten myself killed by thinking the flames would travel far enough, but still great opportunities for kills no matter the skill level. Number 3 is gonna be Ajax. He's a new specialist, and his equipment and weaponry are both new-ish. I mean, a 9-bang is original, except that it's a concussion grenade, so it's not too new. It pops 9 times when you fully cook it. I saw a YouTube video the other day where some guy was ranting and said, in a 9-bang, how many times does that go off? 7? 8? Maybe 9. I think it's in the name. Anyways, this is surprisingly more user-friendly than the cluster grenade, but I still end up using it at the wrong times almost half the time. I'm usually able to stun someone with it, then waltz in for the easy headshot, but sometimes there's just no one there and you waste it. Then you have his riot shield. This thing is pretty strong. I've gotten shot in the foot once to kill me, but on more flat surfaces, that's a lot less common. Worst thing that usually happens to me is I run out of ammo for the thing. But if you use it at the right time, like when storming a spawn point, just get that back up to a wall and melt away. Now he is escapable, and that should be your first thought when facing this thing. Get him to chase you, and if you can trick him and get into a corner, you can get right behind him and take him down. Maybe the best specialist weapon, but it has short range, and it is possible to get overwhelmed and flanked. Number 2, Recon.
Now I love Recon. I usually pick him if I'm running a class where my primary weapon is my main focus. No kills from something I don't want. And it complements gun skill by giving you an advanced awareness. Now he's new as well, and his equipment is the sensor dart, which is like a mini UAV for a specific area on the map. Great for camping a room. Just aim out the window and when someone starts approaching, you'll see him. Place it at a spawn point and make sure you can hold the spawn. Now the placement of it is important. It doesn't last too long, but if they shoot it, it'll last a lot shorter. If you're far away, aim for a roof or a wall. I've gotten them places to where the other team would have to be exactly where I was to get a line of sight to shoot it. His weaponry is the Vision Pulse. Now Vision Pulse is the only ability to return from a character who is not returning. This was Outrider's ability. God, I miss Outrider. That bow was so fun. Maybe she'll make her way here eventually. We can only hope. Or at least her Sparrow. So, Vision Pulse shows all the enemies on the other team through walls, nice outlines. This is great. I've pulsed people, saw them walking towards my corner, pre-fired, and took them out before they even knew what was coming. He's basically a walking UAV. He's great for new players who need the map awareness, and skill players who want to further advance their primary weapon-focused playstyle. And finally, number 1, and if you have any power of deduction, you'd know the only specialist who's left. Nomad. Anyone upset again? Did you see this coming? Is he your favorite too? Now, I know what you may be thinking. Come on, Rebel, he takes no skill. You're just a noob who can't use the Annihilator. True that the doggo doesn't take skills to get kills, but if you have skills, he's even better. So he is a returning specialist, but you may not have remembered, being that both his abilities are completely different. Sort of. So his equipment is the Mesh Mine. 2 mines that can link to create a line that if crossed will detonate both. But if the enemies can see your equipment, because if they can see them, they'll see them through the wall and know not to cross there. You want to space them apart when covering a door. Instead of placing them both on the wall with the door, right next to each side of the door, get one on the left wall, one on the right wall. They won't be able to see them so easily, and if you place them right, it won't help them. See, he takes skill to be good. Now this seems like a new ability, but in case you forgot, his weaponry in Black Ops 3 was the Hive Mine. These mesh mines are similar, but different enough to where that they seem brand new. And then there's his pupper, Juno, who is new. Replacing the Rejack ability, which allowed him to revive, he sends in his doggo out to fetch kills. But if you set her to patrol and then follow her, she's basically an insanely powerful decoy. Run in a second behind her into an area full of enemies and wipe them out while they try to put your dog down. Also, if the dog's coming at you from the other team, find the closest thing that's waist high or higher and hop on. She can't jump that high. She'll see you up there and keep running on to the next teammate. Hop down and continue to push forward. Nomad is great for the noobs, but if you have the skill, he is even better. But as with all specialists, you have to know how to play smart with them.
And that's gonna wrap up this ranking. Let me know down below what you think. Who's your favorite or least favorite? Did I place your favorite too low or least favorite too high? Please let me know why. And drop a like if you enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I've been your boy Rebel, and until next time, I'll see you all in the 20 Hertz servers. Peace.